exacting standards with her fellow writers. Carlene's debut mystery, Murder a la Isabel, a contemporary mystery set in Richmond, Virginia, was quite good. Or, more likely, her uncharacteristic angst stemmed from her separation from Evan Arness, her husband and, incidentally, my ex-husband. I didn't know if any of the group's members knew about the split. I only found out recently when I ran into Evan at Target and he'd said they were taking a break. As an aspiring romance writer, I felt more than a little sensitive to book trashing. I wanted to tell Carlene to get a grip and give the author some respect. Poorly written or not, she had made a creative effort. I held my tongue as I rescued the book from the fireplace, where it had landed in a page's splayed position next to a brass vase brimming with dried flowers. Returning to my chair, I picked up my jacket that had fallen on the floor and draped it over my purse before glancing at the paperback. The six-toed cat, icon of the Florida Keys, graced the front cover. I turned it over and skimmed the back cover. It looked like another cute cozy filled with eccentric characters. The author's first name was Annette, and her last name contained a long string of mostly consonants. I passed the book around. Carlene carried on, and on. Aiming for a light tone, I said, "Did you ever hear of the 50-page rule, Carlene? If you don't like a book after 50 pages, give it the heave-ho." Carlene ignored my advice. "And the author uses that old standby cyanide, putting it in the victim's tea. Isn't cyanide supposed to smell like bitter almonds? So wouldn't you think the idiot would get suspicious when her tea smelled like almonds?" "Not everyone can detect the bitter almond smell. It's genetically determined," Sarah explained. "You either have the gift or you don't." Several of us nodded and said, "That's right," indicating this was common knowledge. Apparently not to Carlene, judging by her blank look. Sarah continued, "And I'm not sure it would smell like almonds in the tea. Seems I heard that it can be smelled on the breath of the person who ingests it, but not before." Carlene regarded Sarah thoughtfully. "Still, it must smell like something in the tea. Something off." I looked around and wondered if there were any gifted noses in this group. Did size count? At any rate, if anyone knew of a bitter almond-smelling talent, she, or he, wasn't telling. "If you do have the gift, you could offer your services at autopsies," Art Woods, Helen Adams's son and our sole male member, quipped. He ran a hand through his mass of dark curls. I gave Art what I imagined was a knitted brow look, but without a mirror it was hard to tell. The mere thought of observing an autopsy gave me chills. But if faced with a cash flow problem, an autopsy gig might be a welcome option. I asked the group, "What do bitter almonds smell like anyway? Is it a smell you'd instantly recognize, like something similar to the non-bitter variety?" No one responded. "Maybe the tea, no matter what flavor, would mask the smell of the cyanide," Helen mused. "And where do you even get cyanide? The killers in these mysteries always manage to have it on hand, ready to dump in some hapless victim's tea." Carlene remained nettled by the author's lack of writing skill. "It can't be that easy to get. Wouldn't you have to sign for it like you do for medications?" Art laughed and said, "Carlene, you need to use cyanide in your next book. Show everyone the right way to do the evil deed." Carlene frowned at her nails, but her French manicure looked fine to me. "That's my plan, Art. I'm researching cyanide and similar poisons. In fact, that's why I read this one, to see how the poisoning was handled." She added the unnecessary, "not a good example." Sarah, fiddling with her long gray braid, asked, "Remember those Tylenol killings in Chicago? When was that? Back in the 80s? We digressed into a discussion about the unsolved case involving a number of Chicago area victims who died after ingesting cyanide-spiked Tylenol capsules. We all started talking at once. "Wasn't there some Tylenol thing in Seattle as well? What about Jonestown? Didn't 900 people—" The sound of the doorbell